Waking up in Boston town, best pups in the city all around. Let's get that tail wagging right, making every good day so bright. It's the Common Dog Podcast. Yeah, the Common Dog Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Common Dog Podcast. I am your host, Laura Donnell, and I have with me Sabrina, my desk manager, who is also a trainer, and my GM, JB, who is also a trainer as well. Today, we are talking about changes in the household, big and small, and how they affect your dog. Our guest today is Gracie May. Yes, hello, love. Hello, sweet girl. And she has had changes in her household, big and small. And so that's going to be our focus today, is how things affect your dog because of changes, and how they affect your dog because of changes in your household. So some big things most people immediately think of is somebody moving in or out of the house. The obvious big change for most people is having, a partner move in the house or move out of the house. So both creates stress for the dog, predominantly because it creates, stress. Even happy change is change and can be stressful.
Right.
And so your dog senses that, right? They are little sponges, and they absorb so much of the big and small feelings that are happening in the household. I actually brought little Gracie May to her parents' wedding last year, which was so unbelievably beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous wedding. And she was such a good girl. She played a small part walking up the aisle. But that's a big change, right? That's a big change, is having someone move into your house. It may not happen, with your wedding. It might just, happen at any point. But having someone move into your house is a change. Yeah. That person probably was there quite a bit, but not all the time. Well, now they're there all the time, right? So that's a change for your dog, and you may start to notice certain behaviors that exhibit stress. Your dog is stressed. They may start having accidents in the house again, right? Yeah. Like acting like a puppy. Yeah. Right. They may start being your Velcro dog and kind of being around you, with you all the time. Right. Showing signs of insecurity. Maybe they start to become destructive. They start eating her shoes, or they found his wallet and decided to chew up all of his cash. Or, other destructive behavior could just include them chewing on themselves, right? Chewing on their feet or their tail, some self-mutilation, which is definitely a sign of a dog really feeling pressure, feeling stress. Yeah. The other things that can create that is someone moving out of the house, right? Which brings its own level of stress and pressure and so forth. And let's face it, if someone is moving out of the house, it is probably because things weren't going swimmingly well. Yeah. So there was pressure to that leading up to that change. And then for the human, there might be, a feeling of, okay, wow, this is finally done, and, we're able to move on. But the dog is going through a completely different experience.
And it also, even when somebody's coming into the house or leaving the house, it changes the schedule a lot of the times, because somebody's on either a different schedule, or now we have to get up at a different time. Or
people wouldn't think that's a big change, but it's a really big change for a dog, right? People are always like, well, how do they know what time it is? Well, they have a really, really accurate internal clock. I don't know about your dogs, but my dog tells me when I'm 5 minutes late for dinner, right? So she's standing by that bowl going, Mom, it's time. It's time. It's, oh my gosh, we're 3 minutes late. Mom, we're late.
And we know too, like, if you are late to come pick your dog up, they will tell us.
Oh yeah.
They will tell us.
Big time. Absolutely. If you're coming in and you're normally here at 5:45 and it's a little after 6, your dog is exhibiting levels of stress that we are witness to. We can see. We're like, oh, Mom's a little running late. Got caught in traffic. And your dog feels that. Yep. and often exhibits they're stressed out.
Yeah, and some
right?
dogs experience different levels of it. Some might just be, oh my gosh, where are they? Where some are just completely off hinge,
Right.
and
Pulling out the
bouncing
door.
about, and
Right. Well,
yeah,
and
and then
that's
getting destructive.
right. So you experienced this pretty major change, having a baby come into the house. That's a really big change for everyone involved. And there's the lead up to the baby coming, right?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that,
So there isn't necessarily a whole bunch of preparation in terms of, you can't tell the dog that the baby's only going to cry for a few weeks.
Right.
Right?
Just a few weeks.
Right? Like, you can't tell that to the dog. So what they're experiencing is a lot different from us. So while we might be soothing the baby and we know, oh, this is only going to last for so long, they don't know when it's going to stop.
Right.
So
This is their own personal hell, and it's never ending. Just like my experience with having children. So it's never ending. It's my own personal hell. So, but it's something that you can't, as much as we feel they speak our language and they know everything we're saying, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on.
No.
Right.
And that's a huge change in their schedule. Everybody's up. Your dog may look like they're sleeping, but just crinkle something and you'll see that eye open or those ears perk up. They're not having a nice deep REM sleep.
Right.
No one in the house is, because you've decided to have a child.
Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare you?
What I found worked the most is to kind of just let them process it. Let them go through it, be supportive, don't coddle.
If you coddle, it makes it worse, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're giving energy to something you don't want to give energy to. So the best approach would just be, be chill. And honestly, we can say that in everything we're talking about, right? In
Just don't
all
put
the
energy
changes
into
that
it.
we're pointing out in this podcast today is big changes, little changes, everything in between. Is the answer is be chill.
Yeah.
Be chill.
Yeah, I mean, the baby coming into the house is probably the biggest change.
Well,
That or moving.
moving is
Moving
huge,
is a big one.
especially if you're moving to a completely different environment. We've got people that have moved from Colorado, where the dog had acres and acres to run around and be free and never saw another human being unless they went into town. And they moved to Boston. And it's nothing but noise and congestion and overstimulation 24 hours a day, while you might be able to go take a little Ambien and pass out because you're no longer in Colorado. Your dog can't.
Right.
Yeah.
They are up and processing constantly all this stimulation, which just puts them into overload.
Yeah.
I mean, I moved and had my son within 5 months of each other. 3 months of each other. So Lana had to process all of that at the same time.
Yep.
And when I moved, one of the things that I did was I actually created her a lot.
Yep.
Because her crate, she knew her crate. She was like, I know this thing. Like, I can deal with this thing.
Right.
And it helped her. But otherwise, she was just like small barking at like kind of everything. She was just like, boof, 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 like trying to figure out what this noise was in the house or that noise was outside or whatever the case is, because she was in a new environment and she didn't trust it.
Yeah.
Well, with Sam, my youngest, we moved, right? And I had a very, very hard pregnancy with Sam.
Yeah.
We moved. 2 weeks later, he was born, but he was premature, so we were at the NICU. So nobody saw me for weeks because I was at the hospital. So that was a massive plunge into crazy territory for my dogs. And of course, I don't remember anything because, your body has a way of not letting you remember the really horrible stuff that you've gone through for the most part. So I don't remember how my dogs were during that time frame, but I'm sure that they were just bouncing off the walls, stressed out, right? Whole new house, whole new environment, went to a much quieter environment from where we lived before.
That's what I did too.
Much more space, and then mom's never around, and then you bring home this screaming thing, because it wasn't just a few weeks for my kids. It was like never ending. So yeah, really, really hard, tough time. Big change. But even, you were mentioning really even small changes, like
like moving their crate to somewhere
They
else,
weird-
even if
they
it's just
get
on the other side of the
weird
room.
as hell about that, man.
Yeah, changing up where they're feeding, kicking them off the bed, like you had said. Really just small things like that. And then the emotional part of it, one thing I thought of is financial stress. It's not something that they can see. It's not something
but they
that
can
is
sense it.
necessarily happening around them, but they can feel it coming from you. So it's one of those kind of like fake it till you make it, staying cool.
Be calm for your dog.
Yeah, because they
right?
can feel that stuff because it can be right on your face and it can be right in your energy too.
Well, to that point, we can see when dogs come in. I used to be able to say, I bet the parents are fighting, or I bet
somebody went on
vacation, or there's some change, not major, right? But there's some change because we can tell when those dogs are off.
Yep.
There was one
When the dogs that come to us, we're like, something's off, something's weird.
There was one dog that we had that whenever his dad would travel for work, he could not come here. Just then.
Yep.
Every other time he was fine.
Yep.
But when dad traveled for work, he was like, nope, I don't want anybody near me. Everybody go away.
And
Yeah,
same could be
his
said-
personality completely changed.
Completely changed.
Same could be said for military families too.
Oh yeah.
Right.
100%.
I mean, they're gone for months or even years on end.
Right? Yeah.
So that's a big adjustment too.
It is. It's a huge adjustment. And honestly, I don't know how the families deal with it.
Right.
I mean, that for me, that would just be so incredibly hard,
Oh,
right? And then, and I'm sure you're dealing with tears and frustration and all the things that go with that change, and the constant worry, right? Is my partner safe? I didn't get to talk to them last night. I didn't get a phone call. Are they okay? So there's these huge highs and lows and highs and lows. And I had a boss years and years ago, and his advice really stuck with me. Don't let the highs get too high, and don't let the lows get too low. And that's advice you should apply to everything.
Yeah.
Everything, right? Because seriously, it's really hard for the dogs.
Yeah.
It really is. It's really hard for your dog, and trying to minimize change, trying to ensure that you keep to a schedule so your dog isn't stressed out, and giving them a place like the crate and an outlet.
Right.
Your dog needs an outlet. What am I saying?
They need to release the pressure and the tension that they have. And it really is dependent on the dog of what is going to get that out of them. Like for my dog, it's play. It's always been play. Lana just wants to have a good time all the time. So, for her, if she's stressed out, I'm going to throw out a toy and we're going to play for a little bit, or I'm going to play. You saw me, I was playing hide and seek with her earlier today. I'm going to do something that we do all the time, and just make it as normal as possible.
Well, and even just basic training, going through the motions of the command, sit, down, stay, heel, come, it gives them purpose.
Right? Yep. Scent work is a good one because scent, smell, chewing, and licking are three things that naturally decompress your dog.
So lick mats.
Lick
right?
mats.
We have lick mats. What do we put on them?
Peanut butter, yogurt, and we'll freeze them in the summertime.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Kongs with peanut butter in it, or again, yogurt.
Hi, baby. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So an outlet, yeah, definitely. Something for them to do, something for them to focus on, something purpose. Purpose really helps. It really, everybody needs purpose. It helps all of us. It helps all carbon-based life forms, right?
For sure.
Having purpose, being able to focus on something, because we get to choose. Well, moms never really get to. But most, a lot of people get to choose to go do something, right?
Yeah.
That makes you happy, whether it's go ride your bicycle or go meet some friends for a beer or, knit or go get a facial or, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Like my husband will just go out and polish the car because he loves to do that. And it's something that he can just sort of turn off the noise of the day and do something that he feels is productive. It makes him happy. It's somewhat immediate gratification. Dogs don't get to do that, right? We have to help them
or
find
they
those
try
moments.
to, and it's almost always a wrong choice. So when you see your dog starting to do those things, like going and finding like the wrapper, in the garbage. They're trying to find their outlet.
Or chewing
and then
on their
you
feet
need to give it
incessantly.
to them.
Or barking at nothing, right? Because they're bored. You know, you need to guide and help them to find a way to decompress. Right. So taking your dog for a walk, by the way, is not exercise. Taking your dog for a walk is the same experience that you're having. It gives them a little time to decompress and breathe in the fresh air and, you know, look at the beauty of nature. You know, a lot of people view it as, well, that's exercise. That's not exercise. Your dog can probably run for 5 miles straight out. I mean, maybe not a little pug or something, but that's not exercise. So give them an outlet for exercise. Play tug with them. Throw the ball for them. If you have a swimming pool, let them swim. Things, you know, things like that. Take them, you know, when it's not midsummer and you get a ticket for it, take them to the beach. If you have the ability to have your dog off leash. By the way, if you don't, give us a call. We can help you with that. So that your dog gets to decompress. And
that was one of the first things that I did with Lana when we moved, was I found where the trails were up by us and took her out into the woods. That's all she wants to
And because she's trained so well, you can give her the freedom of being off leash, which is a very different experience than being on leash.
I can recall her away from a duck, apparently. Which
Yay!
I found out. And a rabbit and all these things. And that is true off-leash reliability. Like being able to call your dog when nothing's going on. That's great. That's great. Awesome. But if your dog is running towards a rabbit, a deer, whatever, and you can't call that dog off of that, then you do not have reliability.
Nope, and we can help you with that.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, even little changes. I remember I had a boxer, and this was in the old house, and I always parked my car. We had a detached garage, so in a little patio in between the house and the garage. And I always parked my car on the right-hand side. And something was in the little driveway that we had. So I parked it on the left-hand side. And I went in the house and let her out. And she barked at my car as if it were a gorilla in the driveway. Because it was literally 8 feet further to the left. Dogs get really used to things being done in exact certain way.
We had one of these kind of beds downstairs, and Lana loved it, and it was smaller, so I was like, I'm gonna get one for her. Put that thing in our living room. She was like, nope.
That is not where it goes.
That is not part of our house. And I had to literally do place work with her for her to lay down on that bed. If I bring a new toy, I have to actively play with her with that toy first before she will accept it as a toy. Is that not wild? Here, no problem. If I give her a new toy at home, I have to show her that it is an acceptable toy for her to play with before she will play with it on her own.
When I wash the blankets, Rhea pulls the blankets out of her crate and then rolls in them and rips them a little bit and makes them dog okay. She has to put her seal of approval on the now clean blanket, make it a little dirty, and then they can go back in the crate. Eris doesn't care. She'll lay on anything. But yeah, she. And the other thing that's really weird is I have 2 crates in it's like crate furniture. It looks like furniture in my living room. Right, those are my dog's crates. They both sleep in each other's crates during the day. Rhea will go in Eris's crate, and Eris will go in Rhea's crate. But when we say go to bed, it's time to go to bed.
They go in their own crate.
They get out of those crates and swap and go in. I'm like. That's so strange, though, right? But nope, Rhea's like, this is my crate to sleep in overnight, and that is Eris's crate. And there's no argument betwixt the two. Nope. In fact, Rhea will go in her crate while Eris is still in there and growl at her she's like, wake up, get out of my crate. And so Eris kind of like bumbles out of her crate and goes in her crate. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
They are creatures of habit so much. I mean, I don't know if you're one of those people who you would go into class and there wasn't assigned seating, but the next day you'd go into class and someone was in your seat, right? Dogs are that way to the nth degree.
Oh God, yeah.
Right? That is my space, that is my place, right? So, we think we might have that behavior a little bit. Dogs really have that behavior.
Oh, I mean, it's as simple as like, I've talked about Lana, she won't come down the stairs on the deck.
Yeah.
Because that is like, I've taught you can't go past this line ever until I say you can. But like, our house, our deck, and then it's our yard. There's no fencing there. So she could, in theory, go around the deck and just come into the car.
Right.
And she won't do it, and it irritates me a little bit. I'm just like, come into the car. And she's like, wait a second. I have to go around, go up the stairs to the deck and wait for you. And then I say, free. And then she'll come into.
That's funny.
It's so funny.
Well, another one is that if any of us walk into work without our work shirts on,
Oh my God, they lose it. They're
they
like, who
have
are
no
you?
idea who we are.
They're like, who are
And
you?
our work shirts are different colors.
Yep.
I mean, dogs, don't see the same
Right,
colors that we
right.
do. But still, like,
Or-
if I wear a gray shirt, they're fine. If I wear my orange shirt, they're fine. If I wear an orange or gray shirt that isn't a common dog shirt, I am not kidding. They bark at me like they don't know who I am.
No, or if you wear a hat.
Or if you wear a hat.
My favorite was like 2 weeks ago, I want to say, Brandon shaved his head. The dogs were like, who are you? For like a solid 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God. My dogs actually, this is kind of a sad story, but my dad wore cologne once. And our dog did not recognize him when he came home, and she ran away.
Well, at least they're using their nose. Oh,
Right.
she ran away.
She ran away.
Horrible.
She ran away. So she didn't recognize my dad because he was wearing cologne.
Oh, that's so weird. That dog really uses their nose.
Yep.
Holy smokes.
It was in the dark too. They were coming back from like their date night or whatever for their anniversary. It's wild.
Probably never wore that cologne again.
No, well, yeah, probably. But it was wild. Like she didn't recognize him.
Yeah,
know.
that is wild.
I mean, I wear different perfumes, so I don't have that problem with Lana. But
Yeah, I wear different perfumes too.
all the time. But yeah, it's as crazy as like suddenly you started using a different detergent, or I know that there have been clients that like my dog is like freaking out about something, and then I will go to their house and I'm like, didn't you have the couch over here like last time I came here?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, and I was like,
that's
that's
why
why
they're
they're being
freaking out.
weird about the whatever it is.
Yep.
So, or like the dog used to be able to get up on the couch and see out the window, and now they can't, and they're like
Right.
pissed about it.
And it's not every dog responds the exact same way, but statistically speaking, most dogs are going to have a really hard time with change. So when we say, honey bunny, be chill, right? Pulp Fiction. Honey bunny, be chill, right? That's what we're talking about is just
You know that reference? Okay.
of course I do.
Okay.
Be chill, honey bunny, right? Because the more calm you are about them sort of freaking out over the change, the more they're going to mirror you and go, okay, this isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
This is all right. Oh, but purpose, play with them, give them something to do, right? Make sure you're doing all the other things
The same.
that as consistently as you
consistently.
can,
Yeah.
right? As consistently as you're able to.
I mean, with baby stuff, I tell people to gradually change things. So your bassinets, your pack and plays, put that stuff together and like have it open so that the dog isn't like everything changes at once, right? So it's a little bit gradual, and they understand that things are going to change, or that changing isn't a big deal.
So, theme of the day is change is hard, right? Help your dog through it, right? Lots of different ways to do that. Training is always a good idea. Playing with your dog is always a great idea. Whatever's changed has changed, but try to keep as many other things as similar as humanly possible. That is our tip for the day is something changes in your house. Don't forget about your dog.
Yeah.
Because they are probably the most affected by
Because you
change.
can't tell them what's going
Right.
on.
Of anything in the household, they are most affected by change.
Yeah.
So our tip for the day is don't forget your dog when something changes, for sure. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.